Welcome to Caribbean Chat, the platform where Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. My guest today is best described as a king of comedy with a wit that could slice through any barrier. The acumen of a political scientist encompassed in the aura of a sage and the humility of a prophet. I don't know if he was aware at age 10 when he began singing calypso in the streets of his hometown San Fernando, Trinidad, the impact he would have on everyone who heard him. He detoured from singing while he served as a police officer for about 7 years in his homeland. His creativity was not stifled, however. He continued writing. His generosity knew no bounds as he gave away multiple songs to other artists. Unapologetically, he uses his humor to analyze, criticize, and ridicule the global political buffoonery. Unsparingly, everyone is well represented by this mellifluous lyricist. Effortlessly, he has treaded the calypso arena. In 2015, he was the recipient of the Tropical Fete Award of Excellence. He was the BB Sunjets Calypso Monarch winner several times since 1992. In 2011, he received the certificate of special congressional recognition for outstanding and invaluable service to the community. He was the Apollo HVAC Corporation Participation Award winner for the first ever USA Calypso Monarch competition in August of 1997. In 2011 and 2018, Trinidad and Tobago ex-police organization recognized and honored his dedication and protection of Trinidad and Tobago's culture. His latest album, Real Kaiso Volume 1, contains 12 tracks, with a few double entendre like Sofa King, Don't Go for Crown, and She Continues. His recorded historical documentation will breathe life throughout the ages. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Mr. Mervyn Carter, also known as Dr. Witty. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, brother, what's happening? Thank you.
I'm good, man.
Thank you for that splendiferous welcome, man. Hey.
It's a pleasure to see you, man. It's a pleasure to see you.
So good.
Pleasure to have you on Caribbean Chat.
Well, I thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Dr. Witty. Yes, Dr. Witty. I'd like to start off, please tell us about some of the struggles that help to forge you into the man that you have become today.
Well, some of the struggles after, and like you know, at the age of 10, I started to sing on the streets, trying to get a little change to go to a matinee. I sing on the streets. And then some people like me so much, they tell me that they want to put me on a show. And I didn't know how you got about going on a show. So the day the show appeared, and when I saw the great guys like Sparrow and Melody and Christo, and I say, hell no, I ain't going up there. I don't have no music. We're going to do a cappella. So I continued writing, but being a little shy, it was hard. I remember one time going to Port of Spain, and I met the Lord Creator. And when I sang for Creator asked my partner, say, will you get he boy? You know.
Were you ever intimidated by these older guys?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I was intimidated to hear a man tell the asking a man in the corner, will you get he?
Was it because of the lyrics or you just looked trippity? Which one?
I think it's because of the lyrics and because it could be a combination of both, you know. I didn't look like a calypsonian them times, a little fella. So I continued doing my stuff, singing in night class and all kind of stuff. And then after I migrated and I came to the US, I continued writing but giving away stuff. I wouldn't mention names, but I gave away some good stuff that made it down to Trinidad. And when I went home to see what was happening, I saw my man singing my song and my name wasn't on the record.
Wow.
You know, I said, wow, you know, I got no pips. I wrote for a friend of mine here. He recorded it. And I was in the studio with him, and while they asked him who sing that song, who write that, boy, that's a good song, boy. He said, two good songs, who write that? He said, me? I had to nudge him and say, hey, I ain't hear you, I ain't hear you. Then he said, me and this fella here, me and this fella here.
Wow, so could you imagine what would have happened had you not been sitting there?
Right? Well, yeah, but when the record was produced, the first record was produced, my name wasn't on it.
Wow.
It was written and composed by the singer. It wasn't my name wasn't on that. It's after I complained and he put it on an album, is then my name appeared alongside his. And you know, M. Carter wasn't even my full name, M. Carter, which could be anybody, you know. So these are the kind of struggles. When I wrote in 1990, after the coup, and I got some information, I wrote something called A Statue for Gene.
That would be Gene and Dinah, right?
Huh? No, not Gene and Dinah.
Okay.
That was Gene Myers' thing. You know, I get some information. I don't know how twisted it was, but I wrote something. And after I wrote it, the late Trevor Johns, I was asking him to, I need somebody to sing this. He said, why you don't sing it yourself, man? I said, why you don't have no calypso voice? And he said, man, take a drink and sing the song yourself. Eh? So that's how that started. I recorded it with Trevor John, and that was the kickoff. In 1990, Statue for Gene was produced. My first ever on stage was at the Island Club on Utica and Church Avenue. Never sang before any place. First time out with a band and everything. And I was well received. So that was the kickoff for me.
Okay. Trinidadians have been said to use humor as a sword and a shield. Have you used it in that way in your compositions?
I think they use it as a sword, but as a subtle sword. You know, you gotta get me. You gotta get. I mean, you know, I like humor. I like to twist. I like to twist it, and if it hurts, it hurts. That's a sword.
We can't fit wear it.
Yeah, even you know, but that's how I write. I mean, I write serious stuff too. I write some good things that make you think, cerebral thoughts, you know. And then I write a lot of humorous songs that sometimes people don't catch it. It's too high, you know.
Did this help or hurt you?
It helps me.
Okay. All through your career?
Yeah, because you have to think sometimes of what I'm thinking about and then say, oh shit, is that what you're talking about, boy? You understand? For instance, I wrote a song called The Black Knight. Sang it in Trinidad and people were wondering, what are you singing about, boy? You know, and The Black Knight was about the ex-prime minister who was at the end of her term and she was being generous at the end of her term. And I said, you know, people want to know how she gets so generous. I said, because they're sending the Black Knight to intervene. But the things I did to her is what make her so compassionate, make she compassionate. You know,
well, trust me, I understand. I fully well understand what you say.
You know, so people sat down there and just wondering, what are you singing about, boy? But that to me made me feel happy that they were totally baffled. I get over with a lot of stuff.
Right, it took a while for them to settle in and really...
Yeah, I get over with a lot of stuff that people wouldn't... I push the button and people ain't even pushing the buttons, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was The Black Knight. It's on my album.
So, are there a lot of humorous calypso still being sung today?
No. For some reason, and this is one of my beefs a long time ago, that if you singing... Everybody wants to win a crown in Trinidad. And they had three categories that you could do: a political, a social, and a nation building thing. So there was no avenue for humor. If you had humor, you can't go in a competition to win no kind of money with a humor. So humor died. So I represent humor in the Calypso Review 10. I've been away for a couple of years and they were kind of like saying, when you come back, boy, we need humor. So humor has died.
Okay, but what do you think could be done to bring it back though?
Open it up. Open up the thing and then anybody, you could bring a crowd with any kind of song. It's a political song or a social commentary or a nation building song. You know.
I remember growing up in the 60s and the 70s and everyone poked fun at the Prime Minister, any member of parliament, there was no exception. Do you think that today a lot of people just got too thin-skinned?
Well, yes. Yes. That's why I wrote that song, Don't Go Fuck Wrong With That. I say how I went home and I want to sing about the government and they tell me, boy, do come down here and fuck wrong with that. Now do come down here, go fuck wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I want you all to listen carefully what he's saying now. Don't go for crown.
Right.
Do not go for the crown with that particular composition.
So I give them, I hit my dig. Those are my digs. A lot of songs I like to write with a song, but you know, in my songs I like to dig a little bit. I like to, you know.
Okay, good. What we like to call pecan.
Yeah, pecan.
Okay, but for those who don't understand, please define pecan for me, or for the listeners who don't understand what it is.
Pecan is telling somebody something about themselves or the government or your friend or whatever it is. But you're telling them in a way that it's covered, it's thing. You know, you gotta dig under the surface to get what I'm talking about. It's pecan. You're giving jokes, you're telling you something about yourself that isn't too complimentary. You know, that type of thing.
Not complimentary and not straightforward sometimes.
Not straightforward, not straight.
Right. And if you're an outsider, you may totally miss it while everybody else is laughing at you.
Yeah, even if it's not pecan, there are some songs that I write, like you know, She Continues. I'm talking about a love affair.
I really am familiar with that one.
All right.
Several years ago, you did a composition called Stereotype.
Okay.
Okay, that's one that doesn't quite hit you until the end of the verse, so to speak. Tell us your motivation for doing Stereotype.
Stereotype, I heard a joke about a white woman who took a black man home and she tell him, hey, I want you to do what black men like to do best.
You know what, Witty? Hold on. Mm-hmm. Here what I want you to do for me. Sing that particular verse up to the chorus for me. Just do that verse. Let people understand what those double entendre songs that you sing are about. Let people understand what pecan is about. Let people understand the storytelling, the beauty of this art form we call calypso. Do that song as far as you want to go. Do that song for me.
A white woman picked me up in a bar and invited me home with her, telling me that how I better be ready. She insists that I tie her up in her bed with her arms and her legs outspread, telling me that I better be ready. She said that no matter how she protests, I must keep her under duress. And I must do what she know we black men like to do best. So I thief she money, she credit card and she jewelry, she computer and she CD, from she full coat down to she 90. Because she didn't specify is which one of their beliefs. The stereotype I justify is the one that say we does thief. Witty is a thief. Or was I black enough for you? Thief. Am I black enough to do thief? Was I black enough for true thief? So that was it.
She got exactly what she wanted by stereotyping you. Right. You didn't live up to what she expected, but you.
I didn't know what she talking about. Yeah, what black men like. You always say what black men like to do is thief, so I thief.
I hear you, Witty.
So that song went on to give some. It was a little political, a little social thing in the middle of the song, but coming back to the chorus was always something else I stole, you know. And then I say, well, at the end of that song, I always say black people only have rhythm and we like watermelon and we like the thief, so I thief, you know what I mean?
Thief. Okay.
I justified that stereotype, that particular stereotype. That's the one I justified. So that's the way I write the song sometimes, you know, to give a little political, a little social thing in between. In the humor, you find a little bit of everything.
So when you sit down to write a composition, what is more important to you, intent or content?
Okay, when I get an idea, sometimes I got an idea and it's nice. I now have to fill that idea with more content, because I don't want to be just slapstick. So I go into other avenues. So my content, I write content with the intent to make you laugh, or the intent to make you think, and intent for you to see something coming out of this old talk, that is something social in it, that hey, you know what I mean? It's valuable. So that's what I do. So I fill up with content with the intention that you would get something from it.
Okay. Are you musically inclined?
La la la. I mean, I'm musically inclined.
No. Do you play any instruments? You play the guitar?
Nothing. Nothing. Just in my head. Music is in my head.
So how do you know what you're looking for when you go in the studio?
When I go in the studio, sometimes I go in the studio and they complain, "Will you come in? You give me 2 left foot here, boy." I say, "Well, I don't know, but you fix it. But this is why I want to sing. This is why I want to sing." So that's where the arranger comes in. I give him my melody, and he's got to tell me, "Well, hey, you gotta stop here or slow there because the bars don't fit and all that." It's a little tricky because I'm musically inclined. I have a lot of lyrics in my head, a lot of thoughts, and I'm singing it. It's now they work. That's why the arranger got to work with me.
Yeah, I find myself, I experience the same thing too. When I did record, I'm no longer in the studio. But when I did record, sometimes I go into the studio and I'm hearing a melody in my head. I cannot tell you whether it's a B flat, a C major, F sharp. I know nothing about those chords. I know nothing about chord progression, nothing about that. But I know what I'm hearing in here. And I ask that arranger to play this, blah, 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 whatever that beat might be. And trust me when I tell you, whatever I'm hearing in here is what's supposed to be played on that.
That's exactly the same way with me. They come at that, but they gotta work. When I come in there, you gotta do some work with me. You know what I'm saying?
Don't ever ask me to play an instrument, man. I don't have that sort of coordination. To me, my pen is my instrument. I'll pick up a pen and I'll write something to amaze you. I'll write something to charm you. I'll write something to motivate you, but when it comes to playing an instrument, that is not my forte.
Not my forte. I'm still now with the quarantine. I pick up the guitar and I'm doing a little something. I'm learning some chords and so on and so on. Not never too late. I have time now. I can't go outside.
So talk to me, Witty, if you will, about one track in particular on that album. The one you call Catch Ass. Tell me about your motivation for that song and what exactly it is you're talking about. I want to get into that subject.
Okay, Catch Ass. A lot of us, when we came here, we starting from home, we went to the embassy and we spoke to the interviewer and we tell the we have ambition and we want to come to the Americas and uplift ourselves better. Right? And we got the visa and we came. But when I look across Brooklyn sometimes and I see the kind of thing fellas doing here, I say, boy, you went for a visa to come here and do that, boy. And that's the motivation. The motivation that started the whole thing. You know what I mean? Some people will do anything in this country in order to survive. They will beg, they will borrow, they would steal. And some went downright connive. Catching tail, catching hell, and royal nenen. Is all them stages of pass. They will now reach to that special condition that you call catch ass. But I know I have a country that I could fall back on. And before I reach to that special condition, Papa, when you miss me, I'm gone.
Witty, for the love of all things great and small, I cannot understand why people would leave their homeland and come to a place like America, the land of opportunity, and go out on the street and beg for bread.
Yeah, open the doors by McDonald's and you're hearing an accent that's familiar to you. What are you doing here, boy? You understand? Give me something, dinner partner, and all kind of shit.
Yeah, if God forbid it ever come that bad for me, like you say, catch us for catch us. Yeah, you rather go back home and deal with that instead of having to submit yourself to those kind of conditions and embarrassment in a lot of cases in a foreign land.
Yeah, man with a squeegee in the hand running by somebody glass trying to, what are you doing, bro? You come here to do this for you. So that was the motivation for that, you know what I mean?
Okay. In light tell me something, in light of everything that's going on in the world today, you know, the current events happening in society, I cannot help but reflect on the lyrics of another one of your songs, Respect for Money, where you said, and I quote, "That is the money our ancestors never earned. We have to stop using our spending to make ourselves powerless," unquote.
Right.
Those are very profound lyrics. Please elaborate on that statement a bit for me.
Well, I traveled a little bit. I went to London, I went to Canada, I went, you know, America, back home. When I look around and I'm saying, well, where are the black businesses? There's none, no big business. I went looking for a big Trini restaurant, a big place, a big nightclub or something where Trinidadians would gather. There's none. And I'm saying, but we have been traveling for years and nobody has developed to that stage where we have big businesses. I said, wow. So I reflected on that and I said, since time when we were working for food, clothes and shelter, and, you know, this is where we reach. And it's because we don't spend our money wisely. And I said, we have to start using this spending money for ourselves, because
investing in each other.
Everybody could come into our neighborhoods and enrich themselves, but we cannot enrich ourselves. Something is wrong with that. So that's where that came from. You know, I heard the Chinese barman and a rum shop man say he liked black people because they would come in here and drink and still buy it and carry home. He would put them, and next time they come and pay and they start all over again. So, you know, that bothered me. And that's where that came from. That's where the idea came from. When all we worked for was food, clothes, and shelter. Today we get paid, but with wages made, we are the greatest consumers. We spend our money recklessly, helping other communities grow. Like, we have no respect for we spending power, or we don't care where we money go. You understand? So that's how that song started.
Yeah, I notice in black communities across the United States and even some places in the Caribbean, the shiny man would come in and open up his restaurant, start to sell his food, and his people would move in, form their own community. The Arabs do it, open up the corner stores. Another set of people open up the gas stations. And what do we have? We are just consumers. All we do is spend, and try to develop nothing. And when in fact one person do break out of that, there's a sort of a crab in the barrel mentality where you have those little factions in society that try to pull you back down because they don't want to support. They don't want to support you because they don't want you to move ahead and leave them behind. So they do everything in their power to pull you down.
Some people have a little beef with that song because I said, you know, the day empires long before slavery, but today all we build houses of worship just to live for life in eternity. You understand? So some people don't like that too much, but it's true. I mean, I'm talking the truth. All I see is big churches being built, but where's the big businesses that could, you know, there's the big businesses. You know, I don't see, we haven't cornered a single market. That's what I said in the song.
Understand, Witty, in your writing and your presentations, if you try to please everybody, in the end, you end up pleasing nobody. So sometimes you just have to please yourself. You just have to write what makes you feel comfortable, spread that message that you want to share. That's at the end of the day, yes.
Exactly what I said in the song. If you feel like preaching racism, I won't be too worried because I know it's the same mechanism that allowed other folks to grow. So you must take care what way you're spending your money. But when you spend your money outside your own, it don't come back to you.
At all.
At all. So, I mean, there's a message. Like I said, I write with a little humor, but I also like to send a message sometimes. Hey, we gotta look around and learn. Learn to respect your money. That's the money your ancestors never earned, you know? So.
Do you see a bright future for Calypso?
Huh?
Do you see a bright future for Calypso? Touchy subject.
But that touchy subject. I don't know. I mean, Calypso is such a nice art form, and I don't know why it's on the decline. my whole ambition is to keep this thing alive. I try, I produce a few shows here in New York. I try to keep things going. Just to keep this art form alive, because this art form is valuable to me. You can sing about anything, from the prince and the princess to the pauper and the street, from any our whole thing. You can sing about anything. But why is it dying? I don't know. You have a lot of, what do you call it, jump up music, and everybody's singing about wine, but nobody's.
Do you think it's the music or the stalwarts within the music industry that's keeping it back?
I think it's the stalwarts within the industry. Because if you play something long enough, often enough, people get to like it. As simple as that. It is as simple as that. If you hear a song, that's the way it used to be. You play a song long enough on the air, people would like it. It would get into them. They would understand it. But you play it once and you discard it. You know how much calypso music is discarded after a season?
1 season, 1 year.
1 season, you have about 1,000 guys singing calypso, and just about 5 will make it in the final. And after the finals finish, you don't hear them. You don't hear those calypsos anymore
at all. I experienced that during my brief time.
It's discarded. And then next day you have to start all over fresh. So you know how many good songs are being wasted.
And what I've seen also, I've seen a lot of people who...
Look at Tigress song. Tigress song about, we call it the mental thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey, depression. Depression is real. That should be a signature song. What happened to that? I don't know. We don't have the people. We don't have the business or whoever it is, the DJs, or don't play the kind of right song that would help a song travel along.
I think the format in which it's presented needs to be changed. That annual competition is something that needs to be removed from the carnival season. I believe it's only within calypso music that we do that, where we have this sort of competition and this particular artist beat that artist and this song beat that song. Okay. It should be done in a more traditional way, follow other methods that have worked, like the Grammys and the other award shows, where you award a particular artist for the longevity of that song or how it was received, copies sold and stuff like that, but not where one artist meets another one and they sing for one night and have this clash and one person win and the rest fade into obscurity. That, to me, that has been a wrong from the beginning of time, and it needs, my opinion, it needs to stop.
However, the winning songs got more play. Calypso used to depend, and Carnival used to depend on Calypso long ago. And now Carnival don't depend on Calypso no more. Carnival depends more on the soca, the new thing, the soca thing. I call it new, but anything no more. But that's the soca kind of thing, that the fast music, the jump up thing, that Calypso depends on that. So I was wondering if Calypso need a different season. Because for Carnival time, your Calypso is clashing with soca, it's clashing with Panorama, it's clashing with everything else. All the parties and all the dances and all the different things that they have around. So you don't have the audiences no more. So I was wondering if maybe Calypso should be after Carnival. The Calypso season maybe should start after Carnival. That's just a thought. I don't know. Just how I feel.
Witty, you are not going to mess with these people and their Lenten season. You are not going to... These people love their religion and their Bible too much for you to even talk about Calypso going past Carnival Tuesday. From midnight, from the stroke of midnight, whatever party is going on will be shut down. Nothing takes place on Lent from Wednesday.
They don't observe Lent no more. And they play all the whining songs, all the Calypso music, all the things. Try to Lent no more. They don't observe Lent no more. They ain't gonna fool me with that. I'm just saying, I don't know. Since Calypso needs to be by itself out there for people to listen to. Because Calypso, you have to listen to Calypso to enjoy it really. So, to get, the jump up music is for the whiners and the partiers and so on. Now the calypso thing is a listening thing. Is a more sit down and take it, laugh, whatever it is. Well, we can't compete with the season that's going on there. So maybe we should take it away from the calypso season, from the carnival season. Sorry, take it out of the carnival season. Have a new season for calypso.
But Whitty, as you assess your contribution to the world, your contribution to this art form, what else would you like to do? At my stage in my game, I want to give calypso to the world. That's it. Calypso, the beauty of calypso, the sweetness of this art form, I would like the world to know it. That's my mission right now. I don't have another thing that was to see my grandsons and granddaughters and them grow up and enjoy this world. But my whole thing is, let's give calypso to the world, and that's what I try to do. As you mentioned family, in the face of tragedy, how were you able to persevere and continue with your competitions and such? I remember years ago you had a family tragedy with the loss of your son. And where did you find that inner strength to keep going? Well, that was my son, my stepson, but he had a tragedy here where he was on the street and somebody took his life. It took a while. That's when the time when I traveled to London, me and my wife, and I was looking around London looking for this. I mean, we have traveled to London before we were coming to America. We were going to London, so I was looking for this community of West Indians where at least I would have a nice club to go in, a nice restaurant, and I couldn't find it. And so that helped me to think about a lot of things about where it's our people and what we're doing. So that's where that idea stayed with me until I wrote, Respect Your Money. So it helped me. I come back and I get right back into singing and writing. Come back after that, I wrote Catch Us, which is nice. I wrote quite a few songs after that, but sometimes you gotta just focus, take things out of your mind and just focus on what you do best. And I guess that's what I do best. But does it bother you at all that there's no bright future for Calypsonians after they hung up the guns? Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot. And now with the quarantine thing, and we have with this, virtual Calypso show thing that we do, we have the opportunity to get it across all over the world at this point in time. So, we're not doing shows right now, but we're doing virtual shows, on the Zoom and different places, on different platforms. So this is another opportunity where we can reach people across the world. So that's the bright spot I see. You know what I mean? This is the brightest thing I see right now. But other than that, if I go home to sing Calypso and I go home and the tents only have a few people every night. You can't make a living off of that. Huh? You cannot make a living off of that. Not only that, you don't get no kind of traction, because if you add up all the people in the tent for that season that come to the tent, I may sing for 600 people. Out of a nation of how many? Out of a nation of how many? 1,300,000. Wow. That's a mere drop in the bucket. A mere drop in the bucket. Oh, let's say 1,000 people hear my song once. That's it. With how much record sales? What? With how many record sales? You don't sell your records in the tent or something, so you ain't getting record sales. People are not buying Calypso no more. So what's the purpose of all of this then, if you cannot make a decent living off of doing it unless you fall within the top 3 in this competition that they have? You're telling me that Calypso and Calypsonians are basically doomed? It's a love. It's a hobby, man. It's a love. It's like you have
You have a camera and you're taking pictures of birds and all that kind of.
Come on, man. We all should be able to live comfortably and eat off of our talent. Something has to be done. Isn't there any organization, anybody that reach out to the Ministry of Culture, anything where they can do something to some sort of, I'm not quite saying a pension plan, but something to secure some kind of future for Calypsonians other than for the top names in the business?
Well, I don't know if I want to get a lot of flack at people and figure I'm talking a whole bunch of stupidness. But Calypso is being played every weekend here okay, now we're not with the quarantine, nothing happening, but every weekend thousands of DJs around the world play Calypso music, especially for mature folks. But even the new music, we play that. But there's no revenue that goes back to the artists who made the songs. So maybe if there was an effort to have a licensing, this is my thing, just a licensing thing that a DJ would have to buy a license to play Calypso music. And there's some kind of enforcement to make sure he does that. Otherwise he can't play. Maybe there may be some funds coming in that could help for medical, dental, burial for the Calypsonians. You know? That's just my thought. We gotta do something. The government should do something to make sure that the artists back home, people are profiting out here, all over the world from playing the music. And nothing's coming back to the artists.
So how does the artist get paid?
That's where the licensing comes in.
No, now. We're talking about right now. How do they get paid?
Well, that part of it, you're going to get paid when you perform. Because, you have a lot of old artists who no longer here and their music are still being played. That should go into a fund.
So the radio stations right now who run commercials get paid for those commercials, play the artist's music on the radio, and there's no revenue going back to the artist.
Revenue at all? None. If you collect some royalties, it's a drop in the bucket. But the people who are playing and profiting from Calypso music out here, out around the world, doesn't have a license to that. They played it and there's no money coming back to the original maker of the song. The writer, the singer, nothing at all coming back.
So do you see a bright future for Calypso?
I see a gloomy picture, to be truthful, but I gotta keep going.
Wow.
Keep going. I'm gonna keep writing, I'm gonna keep singing. But I don't see truthfully, no, I don't see a bright future. Sorry to say, but it's a love. It's all love. This thing we do is a love. Maybe they have a Dead Poets Society. Maybe somewhere along the line they're gonna have a dead
This is similar to Milk and Honey in the Sky After You Die. What about you?
Yeah.
Who won the Milk and Honey right now?
Right now, you ain't getting that Milk and Honey.
Not through Calypso music.
Not through Calypso music.
Wow. So Witty, how would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered as a fellow who wrote for the love of the music, who tried to get this music on a worldwide platform that people can enjoy it. That's my whole express. I am here, and I endeavor to do that. I endeavor to give Calypso to the world. That's how I always say that. I want to give Calypso to the world.
I noticed one of your trophies up on the shelf there, and it sort of looks similar to mine. I have this one here behind me. Does this look familiar to you?
Yeah, that's a small one, man.
But oh gosh, no, but why you have to embarrass me, man? I'm talking about the design of the trophy. I noticed something like this up on your shelf up there.
I have plenty of those, man. Plenty behind there. You see that?
So all those are awards that you won?
All those are awards and crowns and all those.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna hush my mouth and put my wonderful trophy right back here where it belongs. I'm sorry I put myself in.
No, man, no. You contributed, man. You contributed. Your contribution was well worth it.
I'm sorry I put myself in that situation, man. I'm
Your
looking, I'm
contribution
seeing
was-
all this bling going on behind you there. I didn't know they were all trophies.
Yeah. And the contribution was valuable. Don't think that.
Wow, but that's all they gave me back there.
That's all I have.
Oh,
That's all I have. The same
1,
that
2,
you
3.
have is-
Witty, I count about a dozen from where I sit right now.
Yeah. Quite a few. And there's another corner up in the back. You know, I don't know if you could see back there.
Okay. Well, could you count my contribution? How many you see right now?
I see you one, Baba.
1. Okay, that's it. But I'm happy to say, I know this is about you, but I'm happy to say that one particular composition of mine, National Tribute, the song I did for Dr. Eric Williams, that has been inducted into the Eric Williams Museum in the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine, Trinidad.
Nice.
And
That was a
I
nice
am
one.
happy to say that. So I now come to a part of the show that I like to refer to as rapid fire. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions on the need for you to just shoot me an answer right off the top of your head. No hesitation, no concentration.
Mhm.
All right? Who's your favorite Calypsonian, past and present?
Sparrow.
Other than your homeland, what country would you most like to perform in?
Toronto.
Excuse me?
Toronto, Canada.
Canada. Okay. Any regrets?
Nah, none. I have no regrets.
Okay, Dr. Whitty, before you leave, please tell the people where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, my music on Spotify. The Model Citizen album is present right now. There'll be another album coming soon. So I'm around. Those are the platforms you can find me on.
What's your connection on Facebook?
Mervyn Carter.
Okay, and on
Carter
YouTube?
on YouTube, Dr. Whitty on YouTube, Dr. Whitty on Spotify. You know. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Whitty, it's really been a pleasure chatting with you here on Caribbean Chat. Thank you for taking the time out. Let's do this again real soon, okay, bro?
It's all good, and as soon as my other album comes out, I'll let you know, so we can do this again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Whitty. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, man. Thank you. All the best.
All right, bless you, man.
All the best. All right, bye-bye.